Hello, I'm Miss Wilson, and today I will be walking you through the creation, publication, and sharing process of Google Sites. If you've never heard of or used Google Sites before, you should know that it is very user-friendly and opens up a lot of wonderful options for presenting content. To begin, open your preferred internet browser and navigate to your Google Drive. If you are creating a Google site while watching this video, feel free to pause the video at any point to make sure that you complete all the steps involved. So my preferred internet browser is Google Chrome. So I can click on the Start menu down here and select my browser, Google Chrome. It will take me to my home page, and if I'm already logged in, I will have this waffle here. If I don't have the waffle here, I need to log in. So if you need to do that, you can, and then click on the waffle and click on Drive. It will take me to my Google Drive. Once you've opened your Google Drive, you're going to click New, and it will present you with a list of options. So we're going to hover over New. We have a list of options here, and hover over More. You're going to want to look for Google Sites, and this purplish blue icon here, Google Sites, is what you're going to click on, and will open up a brand new blank Google site for you to make into your own. While we're waiting for that to load. So the best place to begin is to go ahead and give your site a title. So if you click on this box around Untitled Site here at the top, it will let you edit it. You'll notice that I can modify it. I can click it here as well, enter site name. This can change at any point, and you definitely do not have to select a title that you're going to stick with from this point, right away. I'm going to call this one Class Project, just pretending that I'm creating a class project with Google Site, but honestly, there's a limitless number of options of things that you can use a Google site for. So I might do it for a class project, I might do it for a lesson plan, I might do it for a team or a club that I'm a part of that I want to present information to my peers or my athletes. So really there's plenty of ways that you can use Google Sites. And again, like I said, this title can be changed at any point, but the main reason I want you to go ahead and create a title is so that you can go back and find it in your Google Drive later on. So if you come back to edit this Google site and you don't remember the title that you had, or it's still untitled site, it's going to be a lot harder to find. So just click create a memorable title. In this tutorial, I'm going to give you a brief overview of the basics for creating a Google site. I'll move from the visual setup first to the content setup in order to follow the way that you would typically move through creating a Google site. So first I'm going to show you how to pick a theme and determine the layout for your Google site. This right sidebar here is going to be the main place that you're going to find all of the functions we'll be using today, and honestly all of the functions we won't be using today are also here as well. And there's just really so many ways that you can use Google Sites, but this is the section that you're going to find your functions. I want you to go ahead and click on Themes. And you'll see there's many options here for a theme that you might want for your Google site. And even within the theme, you can change the color that is used as like a point of emphasis for your Google site. So you can just kind of click through those, find one that you like. Again, it can always change. The big thing about Google is that they're always updating and modifying things and making things more modern, but also you can go back and change things, and all changes will be saved in your drive. So I'm just going to click on or use this level. I can change the type of font that I want to use within that. I'm going to choose the slab, and that is going to be my theme. So if you want to pause this video, you can, and kind of click through and select a theme. Each page that you add to the website can look however you want it to. So when you're determining layout on this home page, it will not be the default layout for the entire website. In fact, actually, I want to go ahead and type home page as the title of this page. But when we determine the layout for this page, it's not going to become the layout for every single page we create. Each page that we create will be adjustable to our preferences. So I want you to go ahead and click on Insert on this right bar here. And you'll notice layouts right here in this little collapsible menu. There's 6 options here for a type of layout that you can incorporate. And you'll notice they all have this little icon that represents an image within them. So if you're planning on including one image or multiple images, this will help you include them in a visually appealing way and kind of set it up for you so that you don't have to do a lot of editing and cropping and adjusting. I'm going to play around with a layout to show you what it looks like. So say that I'm using these and I'm going to have like pretty pick 1 and pretty pick 2. Isn't this so cute? Ooh. So that is where you're going to create that. I'm going to show you how to upload and incorporate images in a minute, but for now we're just looking at the layout. So this would be an image, this would be at the heading, and that would be the little caption next to it. So that just created a section for the layout, and you'll notice like as soon as I clicked it, it incorporated it. So what if I accidentally click it? How do I get rid of it? You'll notice that when I hover over each section, 3 little icons show up here. So if I click on this by accident, I don't need 3 more images here. I can click on delete section, but I also, if I wanted, could duplicate the section. So say I really like it and I want another one of it with just different pictures. I can duplicate it. I can also select a section background. I can even create an image as the background, which is pretty interesting. I can make it the emphasis color or just gray, or it says regular. So however I want to edit that section, I can. I'm going to delete it because I don't need these 2 sections here. But that is kind of how layout works. The next thing we're going to be talking about is adding text to your Google site. There are multiple ways to do this. So I'm going to be showing you how to add normal content, how to add collapsible text, and how to add a table of contents. So first, I need you to make sure, you might have clicked around some, I need you to make sure you have this insert heading selected on this right bar over here. And I want you to look at these 4 main icons here. These are the most used functions within Google Sites, and that's why they have shortcuts at the top. And we're going to click on textbook, and it's going to go ahead and open up, not textbook, text box, and it's going to open up a text box for us, and I'm going to type, this is important info, so it comes first. And so that might be the content. That's, it's whatever you want it to be, but you just kind of type in your text. You can modify the text in a number of ways. So if I wanted to highlight this and make it more of a title, I could say I want it to be a title and I want to center it. I can click on the alignment here. I can center it. Another important thing to note when you're adding sections is this little modification bar here with the arrows. That allows me to move things. So if I insert a text and I want it to be the heading at the very top of the page, I can move it to the top. If I don't want this to look like a title, I can just make it a heading or a subheading. You can even make it very small, so if it's like the fine print at the bottom or the note from, the author, anything like that, you can do that at the bottom. I can also, like I showed you before, change the emphasis, and it makes it look a little bit different there. So that is how you insert a text box and modify. Oh, also I want to show you how to bold it or italicize it. I could even make it a hyperlink if I wanted to, or if I just wanted to completely clear the formatting, I could click that there. So again, many options that you can use with the text box function there. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is collapsible text. So we created a text box already. Now, I want to show you the second way that you can create a text box. So before I do the collapsible text, that was way number 1. Way number 2 is, and this works for all 4 of these main functions within Google Sites. If I double click anywhere on this main center part of the page, I have 4 or 5 options here for things that I can do. I can upload something, I can use something from my Google Drive, I can embed a URL, use an image or text, which is what we're on right now. So if I click on text, it does the exact same thing, opens up a text box, and I can type anything within it. So that's the second way that you include text in there. Next thing we're going to talk about is collapsible text. So make sure you have this right sidebar open, click on Insert, and scroll down to collapsible text. So just like the other functions, as soon as I open or click on something, it adds it to my page. If I don't want it there, I can delete it. If I don't want this to be collapsible, I can even turn that function off, and it's just a heading with subtext there. But I want to use this collapsible function here. So say I'm using a Google site for a book report. I'm going to do my chapter 1 summary here. And I want to use all my chapter summaries on the same page, but they're really long. So paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3. If there's so many paragraphs over and over again for each chapter on the page, is going to take up a lot of space. So this collapsible text function here is great for items like that, where when you click on it, it will open up the text that you want to read, but then you can also minimize it and it doesn't take up the entire page. So that's collapsible text there. You can change the font and bold and underlined, or bold and italicized, as much as you want with that as well. So if I wanted to use these to create a bulleted list, I could, or a numbered list, I could, and that is a collapsible text function. As soon as I click off, you only see the heading, and that's kind of showing you what it'll look like on the user end of things, is that they will only see the heading, and then they'll click on it to expand and see what the main content is there. The next text function that we're going to add is the table of contents. So I am going to just click on table of contents. You'll notice that immediately it automatically populates what is taking up the page. So this table of contents is table of contents for the page itself and not for the entire Google site. But you'll see this is important info, so it comes first. Well, that's what this text says. So when your viewers are viewing your Google site, they will be able to click on that and it will take them to that part of the page. If they want to click on and see your chapter 1 summary, they'll click on that. It'll scroll them down to chapter 1 summary and so on and so forth. So that's how that table of contents function works. It does it automatically for you. So if I didn't have any of this text here, it would say add some information and we'll create a table of contents for you. Now we are going to walk through adding images. I already showed you how to add a layout, which includes images, but this method that I will show you is if you want to add an image by itself. So just like with adding a text box, you can either use the image icon up here, so in the right sidebar under Insert, you can use this image icon here, or you can double click on the page and click on images. There is a difference between the two here. So if I double click and click on images, it only gives me the select images option, whereas if I click on images over here, I can click select or I can click upload. So if you're wanting to upload a picture from your computer, you need to use this icon on the right sidebar. So I'm going to show you that first. Click on images, click upload, and find the image that you want to incorporate. So I uploaded that. Once it loads, it is automatically a new section in your Google site. The cool thing here is that I can move it to wherever I want. I can center it. It helps me center it. I could crop it if I wanted. So I could zoom way in or just keep it the way it is and be done with it. I can uncrop it. If I crop it and I don't like it, I can click on this uncrop function. If I want it to hyperlink to something, I can click insert link and copy and paste a link into there, and clicking on that image will take you to the website. I can also delete it or use some more editing options that we're not going to talk about today, but you can play around with those as well. So that is one way to upload an image from your computer. The next way we're going to talk about is the select images. So you can copy and paste a URL of an image here and only select images that you have confirmed that you have the license to use, and that will be one way that you can add an image. You could also use a Google image search and search for blue eyes, and select the image and upload it. But I do not know that I have the licensing privilege to share that, so I'm not going to add that there. But that is how to use the Google image search. I can use my Google Photos that are uploaded from my phone, or I can use Google Drive. So I uploaded an image to my Google Drive that I want to upload into my Google site. So again, I can modify this by moving it, centering it. I can edit the picture itself, make it bigger. I can undo that if I don't like it. So that is adding images from the select function. To add an image carousel, make sure that you are under the insert heading. So on this right sidebar again, click on insert and scroll down to image carousel. So I'm going to insert some images here using this plus sign where it says add image. And you'll see it says a carousel must have at least 2 images. So we are going to upload images from the computer, but you could also do it through the select function, which I just showed you. We're going to use Bookstack. Takes a second to load. And we're going to use the same pretty sunset picture to create an image carousel. So an image carousel is, you'll see the image and you can click through multiple images in one spot. So you'll notice the 2 little dots here at the bottom are showing you that it's on image 1 and you can click to image 2. I'm going to go ahead and center that one as well. Later I will show you how that looks on the viewer's end of things, but essentially you pick a couple of images and they can click through a gallery of images in one location instead of having to separately put them on the page over and over again. So that is the image carousel function. The next thing I'm going to talk to you about is embedding links into your Google site. So this is actually a really simple process, but I would recommend that you only follow these steps once you have copied and you're ready to use the embed link. So I have this website here that I have shared. It is updated. I'm going to click on either embed code and get this embed code, which I will show you first. So I'm going to copy that and go back to my Google site. Make sure I have clicked insert on my right sidebar and click on this yellow embed link, or double click on the page and click embed. Both of them are going to take you to this. So I can embed by the URL or by the embed code. I'm going to paste the embed code that I just got and click next. And here it is giving me a preview of what my page will look like. So it doesn't look exactly the same because the information in the embed code is a little bit different than if you're on the actual site. But this is totally fine for my purpose here. So if I want to make it bigger, because I really want you to see the whole thing that I worked so hard on, I'm going to edit that a little bit. And then just know that you're also able to scroll when you're in the website. You're able to scroll around to see the whole thing that has been embedded. But this is the first way that you do it. Another way, embed by the URL. So I'm just going to click on the URL and copy and paste the URL here. And this one, in my opinion, doesn't work as well. And usually you just have to click on the link and it takes you to the external website. So it's going to open in a new tab. So my recommendation here is to use the embed code if you have that available. So that is embedding by the URL or by the embed code. So let's go ahead and insert some materials from your Google Drive. So that is our last of these 4 functions here. So if you want to click on Drive or double click on the screen and click on From Drive, it will open up your Google Drive. The cool thing here is that you can open any type of Google document or Google Slides presentation or PDF or anything that you have saved in your Google Drive. You notice I used an image. Or I could have used an image from my Google Drive from earlier. Here I'm going to upload this example document. So it's a Google Doc, and click Insert. This document is an example of one you might upload. So that is the content of my document. Right now it only shows you this rectangle of the document, but when it is published, my viewers will be able to scroll within the document and see the whole thing. So if there's like 12 pages to it, they can scroll in this little box here and see all of the content that is included in that Google Doc. Let's go ahead and upload another thing from my Google Drive. This time I'm going to upload a Google Slides presentation. So this aphorisms slideshow I made a while back. And you see this little information bar or navigation bar comes up when I use a Google Slides presentation. So right now I can't click through it, but when my viewers are seeing my website, they can click from slide to slide and see the whole thing. So that's a really important feature there. So if you're creating a portfolio for all of your work that you've done in a class and you want to include Google Slides presentations, then you can do that. And I highly recommend you do that to kind of keep things organized and visually appealing. One really important thing that you need to know when it comes to adding documents from your Google Drive is making sure your sharing permissions are on the way that you want them to be. So if you're creating a Google slide or Google site for your blog, or you are sharing it on social media and you want anybody to be able to click on the link and open it and see everything that's on your Google site, then you need to make sure that all of your embedded material from your Google Drive is shared in a way that will let anybody view it. So if I have a special permissions on my Google site that nobody can see it, or only people with the exact link can see it, or only people within the select Google suite can see it, then that's going to cause major issues and then be a point of frustration for your viewers and your Google site. So just make sure that you can click open this link in new tab. It will open up in your document that you have embedded, and you can click on your sharing permissions here. And it's loading. And you can make sure, so right now restricted, only people added can open this link. So I want to change with anyone with the link and click done. So anyone on the internet can view this link, and now when people view my Google site, they can see it. So that's really important there. All right, so now that you know the basics for editing your Google site and adding content, we need to consider how you're going to organize your Google site. So the first thing I'm going to walk you through is adding pages to your Google site. So locate the Pages button up on the right sidebar here. We're going to go to the bottom, and this little plus sign, I want you to click on it, and it says New Page, and it creates a new page. So we're going to do page 1. So this will add a new page, and it's brand new. So like I said earlier, it's not going to apply the layout that you wanted or that you used for your home page, because you might need a different layout for this page here. So that is creating a new page. So you simply click the plus sign, made the title, and click done, and that created the new page. Then you can insert all of the material and the different functions that I've shown you already to this brand new page and create it to however you would like it to be. The next thing you're going to do is create a sub page. So this is just me showing you how. So say this is page 1 and I want to add a sub page for it. Let's say sub page 1. And that becomes a sub page under page 1. So you'll see the navigation bar at the top. It is a heading that I can click on for the drop down menu under page 1. To duplicate a page, this is what you wanted to do if you want to apply the same layout. So say I worked really hard on this page here and I want basically the same thing to be on another page, but I want to change the information. So maybe I was doing a book report and I did, Lord of the Flies book, all my chapter summaries of Lord of the Flies here, and then I want to duplicate the page and do the same thing for another book I read. Okay, so I'm going to click on or hover over the page that I want to duplicate, click on the 3 dots that show up over here and click duplicate page, and change the title. So I'll just do home 2 because it is a copy of the home page, and it creates this new page for me that is exactly the same. So now I can go through and change the pictures or change the summaries or however I want to modify from that original page. So this is where you kind of start to see the structure of your Google site developing. So you can see the pages are starting to show up. You can see the navigation bar at the top, and it kind of really feels like a website now, and you can kind of be creative and create it to however you want it to be. So one of my favorite and most used functions within Google Sites is the button function. I don't really know why I like it so much, except that it makes the website easier to navigate. I typically use buttons on my home page to link to the major pages within the website, but you could use it for anything, honestly. So I'm going to go back to my home page here and click on the Insert tab at the top. And I'm going to scroll down within this right sidebar and click on Button. So say that I want to click or create a button for Home 2, that page, the duplicate that I just created. So I name my button Home 2, and I can link it to a page within this site. It gives me the options here, so I'm going to click on Home 2, but you could also copy and paste a link from a YouTube video or an external link that you want to include. So this is all the way at the bottom. I'm going to move it up to the top, and you'll see, I'm going to move it second or third down here because this important information is up there, but I have a button now, and I could say, okay, you know, if you're looking for my Lord of the Flies or my Great Gatsby chapter summaries, you're on the wrong page, but click here to see it, and it'll take you to that. So that is a really cool thing, and I think it's really visually appealing, and it just makes things a little bit easier to understand. So that is adding a button. As I edit my Google Sites, I like to utilize the preview function frequently in order to make sure things are looking the way I want them to. So in order to do this, locate and click the blue Publish button in the top right corner. Not Publish, sorry. The laptop with the smartphone right here. Click on Preview. And this is how your viewers will see your website. So I'm going to show you real quick how this gallery or the image carousel looks. So I can click to the 2 images and see them. You can see my embedded Symbaloo project, which is, I would need to go back and edit that to make it fit into the screen better. This is my document. So like I said earlier, if it's like 12 pages long, you can scroll through all of it. Here's my Google Slides presentation I can click through, and then I can go to my different pages. So this is really the way, and when I want to exit the preview, I hover over this bar down here. I can also view it like I'm viewing it on a tablet or on a phone, on a smartphone, which makes things look a little different. So this is, like I was about to say, this is how I make sure that my Google Sites presentation or my Google site is looking the way I want it to. So it might look good on my screen, but when I load it, like this Symbaloo thing down here, it might look really weird and I might need to change it. And it's really good to look at it from the phone point of view, the tablet point of view, and the laptop point of view. And then when I'm ready to exit, I click on the blue exit preview X down there, and it takes me out. When you are finished editing your Google site, locate and click on the blue Publish button in the top right corner of your screen. You're going to fill in the web address that you want. So I'm going to say class project 112. So you want to create a unique web address that's not already taken. So if it is already taken, it'll tell you. Let's say 111. This is a great address, but it's already taken. So I changed it to 112 and it's ready to go. And then I'm going to click on Publish. And that is creating my site. So now my Google site has been published successfully. And now this option is here, Copy Published Site Link. So if I click on that, I can copy the link copied to clipboard, and to test it out, open a new tab, paste the link into the address bar, and there we go. There is my published Google site. Oh, this is the drop-down menu. the collapsible text. So if you wanted to see what that looks like, I'm going to click on the button to show you. It takes me to the second home page, and that is my clearly a little scattered, but published Google site. So my advice to you as you're making changes, as you inevitably will make changes, you need to make sure you click publish again. So say I create another button for subpage 1, and I want to move it up there with its friend here. So I've edited my site, but I already published it. And if I go back and click and put in my URL, my homepage only has the one button. It doesn't have the button I just added. So the way you're going to fix that is click on Publish, and it tells you this is what is currently published. And you see that we don't have the second button, but here's my draft. You made a second button. So when I click Publish, it saves those changes, and now when I use the URL, my second button is there, and it functions to my subpage. So make sure as you are working through your Google site that you are publishing frequently. Even if you think you haven't made any changes, it is always a good idea to make sure that you have the most updated version of your Google site published. Once you have that link, you can copy and paste it to the World Wide Web, put it on social media, send it to your colleagues, whatever you need to do with it, or your students, or however you're using your Google site, and they will be able to access it. Thank you for watching this Google Sites tutorial. I hope you found it useful and that you can use it for future teaching and learning.